Course has been laid in. Let's do this. We're going to retrieve these quantum keystones. Bring it back to somebody in the deep who is going to realize that exactly what I said is true, that the remnant are there, and the deep has known about them already because they swapped technology. We'll stop by the Golden Beach, yeah. And we'll land right on this system here. Oh, here we go. Oh, I forgot. Oh my God, I forgot. Oh, I didn't want to land here. Oh well. When you enter Nefel's atmosphere, you will receive a message that Hajlad will be waiting for you in the spaceport. Before you have a chance to head into the port, however, you are met by a well-dressed administrator, and a couple of nondescript guards. Captain Schatz, the administrator, says crisply. You are invited to a meeting in the VIP conference room. If you would, please follow me. Okay, let's do this. Sure thing, lead the way. The guards take you by the arms. I am pleased you are being so agreeable. Consider this a precaution. The administrator prompts sternly, and you all fall. Follow. You are brought to a large research complex just outside the spaceport and deposited in a high-end, white, minimalistic conference room with two well-dressed, important-looking men. Thank you, Lars. Take the guards and wait for us outside. The man seated across from you says. Of course, sir. The administrator, whose name seems to be Lars, turns and is followed outside by his two goons. The man who spoke looks at you with a friendly smile and without a shred of irony says, I'm so glad you agreed to meet with us. I realize an accomplished captain like yourself is in great demand, so we will endeavor to keep this brief. I am Jacob Forsyth, Vice Planetary Governor of Nefel and CEO of Nefel Research Solutions Incorporated. And the man sitting beside me is Henrik Fogel, Deputy Lieutenant Subdirector of the Census and Culture Bureau for the Deep. We've been monitoring you ever since you first arrived and became entangled with those sad, backwards hill witches. Jacob takes a sip from an elegant glass on the table. If you've been watching me, does that mean you knew about the ice crawler accident and did nothing? Of course I knew, Jacob answers. It's my business to know. The only people who live here anymore are employees of my firm and those hill witches. Holding up both hands in placating gestures, he adds, and I really am sorry we could not extract you from that avalanche. We don't have the resources allocated to support rescue missions anymore. Various services, including emergency ones, are only barely functional. The whole operation on this planet is being shut down, Not enough opportunity to make a profit left here. That's why it will be completely uninhabited within 50 years. You're abandoning the entire planet? He leans forward with a sly look on his face. Think about it. Why employ a worldwide workforce of 300,000 in the vain hope of discovering new pharmaceutical products in a snowy wasteland? There hasn't been a profitable discovery here in generations. It's a money pit. You run a ship, a business. You understand. There is, however, one hiccup. Jacob leans back. A thorn that has been at our side since our research firm first colonized this world over 600 years ago. Those crazy hill witches. Sure, early on they had their uses as guides and whatnot, but they are culturally a dead end. An atavistic blight on our corporate world. He continues with a humorous glint in his eye. They actually believe that they were brought here during the Earth's Stone Age by magical space fairies. Wasn't that proved to be true? Now, Henrik finally cuts in. We here in the deep value all of our resident citizens, people, and cultures. We are not here to denigrate our citizens, no matter how unusual. Let's see here. But I thought folk tales of elves were common in the deep. What makes them so different than the rest of you? He leans back. Well, you're not wrong. In fact, there's been studies about whether Skadenga are truly a traditional reflection of the deep people or an extreme offshoot of what we used to be. Suffice to say, I believe it's the latter, and most modern deep historians would agree with me. Here's what really makes them different. Our popular folklore tales are like childhood stories you've heard of, say, the boogeyman. The Skadenga don't just tell them. They formed a religion out of those stories. If you've spoken with them, I'm sure you could tell it's quite reminiscent of ancient paganism. Certainly they could practice whatever they want, but we're concerned about what some of the unusual connotations of paganism. We haven't been able to prove any extreme behavior, but their religion gives us reason to suspect it. If they stay culturally isolated from the rest of the deep, their religion can progress in ways more harmful. I'll leave it at that. This sounds dangerously close to that they're going to be like, oh, we're going to kill them. The deep would never forcibly resettle a population, but with your help, we have an opportunity to guide them to a place where they can receive the help they need. You recently visited Windblane and Asgard. Sending them to Windblane, a barely inhabited world with no useful public services, would be a huge mistake. These poor wretches would disappear into the uncharted wilds. Asgard, however, has a robust civil service and safety net that would be perfect to help them adapt to our modern culture. I don't like this. This is why I asked Vice Planetary Governor to hold this meeting. The Deep needs you to convince these poor backwards people that they should live on Asgard, Henrik shrugs. For all we know, you've already decided to tell them Asgard is the best choice, in which case we're really not asking you to do anything you ordinarily plan on doing. We will also help facilitate the move by providing transportation. Furthermore, for your support in this delicate matter, we will transfer you 850,000 credits to your account upon their arrival in Asgard. Really, everyone wins this way. But the Skadanga. Jacob interrupts you before you have a chance to finish your sentence. Now listen, you just think it over. We don't need your answer now. All we need is for you to guide those people to Asgard. If you do that, the transport union on Valhalla will have the ships you need. If you don't, well, things might be more difficult for everyone. And remember, we'll pay you in real credits, not charm bracelets. Lars, Jacob calls, and the administrator and his 2 guards promptly enter the room, show Captain Schatz back to their ship. Our meeting is concluded. Of course, sir. The guards grab you and escort you off the premises with that distraction out of the way. It's time to go meet Hizlad. And guess what we're going to do for Hizlad? We're going to take them to the other one. There are no signs of Hizlad when you arrive in the mostly empty spaceport. You spend a few minutes wandering around before you see her head down the hall towards you. Sorry to be late. You would not believe all the paperwork they had for me. I think they aren't happy about Ice Crawler. I'm going to mention, I was abducted by that dude. That is no surprise, Hizlad said nonchalantly. They've always doing things like this. It matters not to us. You ask her if she's worried about if you've been compromised, that you might be working at the Skadanga's best interest. Hizlad shakes. She says, no, future is set. What will be, will be. You're given a task to tell us where to go. We go where you say. The rest is just noise. Now, Hizlad, tell me about the sex stalker. Did you find it? I found traces of it on Windblane. Sending big piece of wood through space probably not the best idea on Dordis had. Still, it doesn't matter much what you find, only how you felt. You saw the worlds. Where should we go? I'm saying Windblane, because that matches this. You answer, there is nearly an abandoned village called that thing, next to a coastal godstone. Something about the place felt right. I believe that is where Skadanga should migrate. Hizlad nods. Sounds like a good place. I will tell Ondordis. When you are gone, thing or assembly was held. Ondordis called in all Skadanga from all villages as across Nefel. You must find transportation. Oh no. This is what Ondordis told me to tell you. You frown and ask, did she provide money? Hizlad shakes her head. No, we could not afford it. You must go to Valhalla and convince head of transport union to support us. She squeezes your shoulder. Thank you for help, for finding us new home. We need it. I must report now to Ondordis. Skadab be with you. She turns and leaves. Great, now I gotta go. Great, now I gotta go convince people. Oh my gosh, alright. This is turning out to be a real headache. Let's go to Valhalla and see what we can do. Okay. Once you're outside your ship, you are met with a representative of the transport union. We have been expecting you, Captain Schatz. They escort you to an elevator up to the penthouse of the tallest building in Valhalla's capital of Himinbjorg. 3 youngish men, adorned in trending clothes, smile at you as you enter. Ah, Captain Schatz, what a pleasure to finally meet you. I am Caden, and these are my associates, Braden and Graydon. We are executives of the transport union. Obviously, we were made aware you would be coming and looking forward to creating a lasting and beneficial relationship with you and your clients. We've heard that you have inspired an idea to transport an entire backwater community from one world to another, Caden says. Really inspirational, Braden chimes in. So inspiring, Graydon adds with an opaque hand gesture that you think you've seen done by celebrities. At the transport union, we say it's about the people in the transports, which is why we're humbled and excited to offer you support in this beautiful and inspiring humanitarian adventure of yours, Caden finishes. Braden and Graydon both clap enthusiastically. Caden waits for the ovation to subside, then continues with a knowing smile. So tell us, humble servants of the people, where to transport those poor souls. That's fantastic news. The Skandanga, the Skakang, whatever, they'll transport to Windblane. A hush falls over the room. Both Braden and Graydon looked at Crane with confused expressions. Windblane? Crane says slowly, Windblane? Are you sure that's the world these simple people wish to travel to? Maybe you got an invoice mixed up. Perhaps wrote the wrong name down. Braden and Graydon both silently nod. Windblane, yes, I'm sure. That changes everything then. Caden turns to Graydon. Are there even incentives? Graydon is busy scanning through a tablet. No re-amortization kickbacks, no university study grants, not even a housing development utilization bonus. The entire thing will probably be still a tax write-off, but the Census and Culture Bureau won't be happy. Plus, obviously, no finder's fees from them. Caden looks at Braden, who shakes his head. Public relations for people moving to Windblane? No one who is anyone lives in Windblane. No one else cares about these people. Yeah, we're sorry. This just isn't going to work for us. Caden puts on a pained face. This just isn't the kind of project we are willing to take on at the moment. They all stand near unison. In the future, try not to waste our time, Caden says, as the three exit the room. Your escort reappears. I've been instructed to inform you there's no one else in the deep capable of moving the amount of people you want to move. When you're ready to be practical, contact us. We'd be more than happy to help. Now follow me out the building. You ride along the elevator down the lobby and are shown the door. As you leave, other employees follow you out. As he passes you, he quietly says, meet me in the spaceport. Oh, I'm in. It's clandestine meeting time. The transport union employee is waiting for you near the entrance. He's wearing a wide-brimmed hat and a bulky scarf, a long coat with an upturned collar, and sunglasses. You worry his over-the-top efforts to look nondescript will only draw more attention. Can't speak long, he says. It's too dangerous. I can't afford to be seen with you. You ask him what this is all about. I don't agree with what the union or the deep are doing. I was raised in a small town where we still respect our past, and I couldn't just sit around and do nothing. So listen. With the union against you, there's no transport company that will pick up your contract, with one exception. There's a bold renegade mineral baron on Mooseville. He hates the union and will be willing to do what you ask. How do I find this dude? The union employee begins moving away from you. Name's Harar. You can usually find him in the Red Rock Saloon inside Mooseville Spaceport. The disgruntled union employee then says quite loudly, I do not know where the bracelet shop is. Please stop asking me. And he runs. Looks like we're going there. Little detour. By the way, these missions in human space, again, I said this last time, I think it adds a lot to the game. Where are these pirates coming from? Alright, let's see if we can find this dude. Spaceport, boom! The floor of the spaceport is covered in dirty, red dust of hundreds of shuffling feet. Prospectors, miners, drillers, and all their attendant associates are intermixed here, gossiping about the latest finds, accidents, and hauls. Every person, either saturated in red earth or immaculately clean, creates a visual aid to the boundaries of class, paycheck, and leadership. The Red Rock Saloon is located deep in the tradecraft section of the spaceport, far enough from the tourist areas to discourage anyone but the locals and those with business to enter. We're going in. The doors swing open, revealing a dimly lit room filled with rough, unsavory people. Piano music is playing on a cheap speaker, and the eyes of the patrons slide to get a good look at you without turning their heads. There's an expectant pause. You get the feeling they are waiting for you to either announce something or leave. I'm looking for Harar. Oh, there's Harar. Look at that. Look at this guy. For a moment, nothing happens, and a gruff voice spirals out from a dark corner. Back here. You walk to the back of the saloon, find a gruff man in a long reddish-brown jacket seated. Who is this guy, anyway? Seated with his back against the wall and a bottle of whiskey on his otherwise empty table. Have a seat, he says. Now, see, I wonder if this guy was like, oh, I'm taking my picture. I'm going to be immortalized in this game. That's awesome. After you sit, he places a gun on the table. So the Allen boys think they could send some greenhorn killer to take me out. Horror barks loudly. Not likely. With his free hand, he takes a swig of his whiskey. Here's what's going to happen. I'm not going to kill you. Only maim you a bit. And you tell the Allen boys that the next person they send will come back even worse. We had a deal, and I expect him to keep it. Let's see here. You got the wrong... I was not sent... And if you can touch me, I'll burn this entire... You got the wrong person. I don't even know who the Allen boys are. If it wasn't the Allen boys who sent you, who do you work for? The Shinskis, Mad Mikkel's gang, or maybe a Hanoverian? Nah, not his style. So who? After you finish your explanation, Harar frowns. This is some kind of pickle you got yourself into, and humanitarian or not, I am a man who's known for working for free. But what you heard is correct. If you need people move and the union won't do it, I'm your best bet in the deep. It would be something to give the union a black eye like this, and I would generate some goodwill. I could probably even recoup most of the costs in tax write-offs and government grants. But still, he drifts off and then looks at you hard for a moment. Tell you what, I'll do it for free. If you promise to owe me a favor in the future. A favor for a favor. What do you say? What kind of favor? Oh, I don't know. Something always needs doing around here. I went from rags to riches, you know. And a journey like that leaves a lot of disgruntled folks in your wake. Plus, business at times requires a certain sort of captain. Whatever it will be, I'll have you know I run a legitimate, well, mostly legitimate organization, and you won't be asked to do anything too illegal. So what do you say? Deal? Yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. Good, good. People making deals, that's what society's all about, you know. All right, listen up. It'll take me about 2 weeks to get my fleet ready to transport your friends. We'll take a good handful of trips, too. But you only need to guide us for the first one. So come back here, then, and we'll get the show on the road. All right, 2 weeks, and we'll come back. Meanwhile, let's go up to this system so we can actually, like, deliver these quantum keystones. I am the saver of ice people. Okay, we're really far away. Alright, upon returning to Alfheim, you learn that Ivan has left for his research lab in Valhalla, but instead you find Rana is waiting to retrieve the keystone. She hands you 60,000 credits, enough to pay for half of the cost of the stones. Thank you for buying these keystones for us. It may take us a month or two to fully study them. We will contact you when we need your assistance again. Well, that was lame. Now where do we go? We gotta wait for 2 weeks for that mission to, like, do something. So let me just make sure there's no other... Let's see here. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Yeah, the only other one I really see is this one. Alright, well, let's, well, this is always, let's go to Vinci. Maybe something will happen there. Who knows? Isn't that where, like, all the other stuff triggers? So maybe just something magical will happen there. Maybe let's come back anyway. So, like, I can just do that, you know, muck around a little bit and see what's going on. All right. Okay. Oh, here. Oh my God, I got it right. This planet is where archaeologist Albert Foster has his lab, the one who sent you on a mission to collect samples from the planet in the deep. Would you like to try to convince him to look for signs of an ancient alien civilization in the rim systems? Hell yeah, I want to! Emerald Sword Quest, here we come. Foster seems glad to see you. You do your best to pique his interest without saying anything that will make him think you're crazy. But he's clearly not buying it. I'm sorry, he says, but I'm not mounting an expedition just because you have a hunch. So unless you're willing to tell me the source of your information, I'm not interested. He turns his attention back to the data pad he was reading before you walked in his office. Let's see here. I had this dream about... Yeah, this one. You had a dream, he says? Sorry, no. Ornithological archaeology is notoriously unreliable. From his tone of voice, you think he's being sarcastic. I think a telepathic space alien spoke to me. You expect him to laugh at you, but instead he's so shocked that he drops the data pad he's holding. An Archon? He says, how the hell did you get tangled up with one of those? You tell him the story and he listens intently. It's feasible, he says. We've heard rumors from the quark that an alien civilization used to exist in the rim. 100,000 years ago. No signs of it, of course. Any artifacts they left behind have been destroyed by the elements, or perhaps intentionally removed. But if a city were encased in lava, that could preserve signs of it, even over such a long time frame. Foster makes a few phone calls that cancels upcoming plans, and then shows up at your ship with a large collection of geological surveying tools. Let's go check it out, he says. Emerald Sword Quest. We're in. This is the Emerald Sword Quest. I had a feeling, I had a hunch. And, oh my gosh, okay. So, we're going to go head back. Well, there's two missions I got to do. One is like that one. I mean, we're in this area, so we probably should just go back to Valhalla really quick. Finish up the ice, whatever stuff. I don't even know if 2 weeks has passed. Probably not. Was it Valhalla? I was supposed to go on? Oh, here we go. Your inbox. Okay, here we go. It's ready. Let's do this. See? Got it. Okay, now where do we go? Missions. Moose spell. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this before we go check out the Emerald Sword quest and then get that started. Are there like pirates? I just don't understand where these pirates are coming from. Spaceport. The Moose Space is filled with crews doing final checks in their various haulers. You find Aurora near a cluster of captains. Aaron! Aurora calls out, you're glad you got here in time. Word is Union boys are furious about this. Undermines their authority and whatnot. It's great. He claps you on your back. My captains are ready. How about we get this rodeo started? Yeehaw. Launch sirens blare as the crews rode up. Let's do this. Where are we going? We're going here. Boom. Well, bring all your people here. Let's do this. Come on. Oh, they're all here. You receive a message from Ivan, the scientist working on the spatial anomaly and determinant system. Captain, we have finished studying the quantum keystones, and they do in fact allow access through the wormhole. Please meet with me on Valhalla in the Epsilon Leonis if you wish to continue helping with our research. I accept you. The fleet touches down outside the crowded village of that name. The landscape is filled with gathered Skadanga. The Ondordis approaches you. Leaving is difficult, but all winters must come to an end. She watches as her people climb aboard the fleet. I will be taking the first trip to Windblane, but I must rejoin my folk. Thank you for this, and we shall speak again on our new home. She leaves with you a warm smile in the wintry village. And so now we go to Windblane, right? We'll check out the Epsilon. We'll go do the Quantum Keystone after the Emerald Sword stuff. There might be some lulls in that too. So let's drop these folks off. I gotta wait for them to actually arrive though. Arrive. Come on. Let's get a little faster here. The reserved and limited government of Windbane plays neither you nor your fleet any heed as you make your way down to the outskirts of that place. An empty, wind-swept landscape beneath gray clouds, and a small group of weathered fishermen are waiting for you outside your ship. I thought I'd be seeing you again, Alfred says at the front of his small delegation. I dreamt that ice rained down upon the seas, and that Rand was glad of it. The creases in his face bunch up as he smiles at the memory, and then his eyes wander to the disembarking Skadanga. A moment later, the Ondordis joins you. So, you are the ice that falls from the stars, asks Aldfrith, with a hint of mirth in his eyes. We are Skadanga, daughters of Skade, mistress of ice, mountain, and cold. But I think now she sends us to her sister Ran, Ondordis replies. Aldfrith, oh my god, not slowly. We are the folk of Ran, the offspring of the surf, the students of the wind, and the watchers of the storm. We welcome you and your people here. Though there are few here at present, many more of our number can be found amongst the surging seas. He glanced at the growing number of Skadanga. If you follow me, I will escort you to our village and show you what buildings you may use, though I fear we cannot house so many. The Ondordis smiles. We thank you for your hospitality. It is good to find others who remember the old ways. Fear not, though. We are a resourceful lot. Turning to you, she continues. Meet me near the ships at the makeshift spaceport in a few hours. I have much to do at the moment. She and many others then follow Aldfrith and his group to the halls of that place. As you watch him leave, you hear the sounds of Horror's fleet taking off and heading back to Nefel to pick up the rest of the Skadanga. Wow, we did it.